Okay guys, it's about an hour and a half since the last video, and man, it's been an uphill climb. The camera went bad in the last one, so I had to sort of reorganize and recoup here. So here's what we got. Alright, if you remember, was my handy pointer here. This U-bolt right here was really cockeyed. She was sitting probably about a 15-degree angle, if not more. And I couldn't get it seated properly on the axle, so what I had to do as a workaround, and maybe I'm the only guy this has ever happened to, but maybe I'm not. And if this is happening to you, this was my solution at least. And there's got to be an easier way, but this is what I did. One guy working alone, and this is how I overcame the problem. Now, so once again, going back, this U-bolt was planted firmly, no problems there. This one was cockeyed and was being pulled outward by this spacer plate here in between the perch. So I'll show you what I did. All right. I went to my favorite tool, the ratchet strap here. Here's the hook end. And what I did was I eased up on the outside U-bolt and gave it about maybe an inch clearance at the top here. I hooked on the U-bolt, I hooked on the hook on the ratchet strap on this end, tied it in there. I'm not going to do it over again because it's just going to take too long. And then I went over to this end, hooked this end of the hook, I don't know if you can see it over here, on the other leaf spring stack. Over here, there you go. So this hook went on this side over here, around the leaf, and then I just ratcheted it up tightly here, more kind of like that, and pulled it in tight. Now what happened is it bent the U-bolt just the way I want. The U-bolt has sort of a memory to it. It's going to go back to where it wants, but sometimes I have to wind them up or I have to compress them inside the bench vise. So that's what we did in this case. I pulled it back, it bowed ever so gently out, and I was able to actually snug up the U-bolt fittings at the end, get it planted, seated properly, and then now it raises the other question: how do I get the hook out now? The hook is now stuck inside between the U-bolt and the axle. So a little bit at a time. I beat it out very gently, so I was trying not to shift the U-bolt back out of place where I didn't want it. And I got it out gently and then pried up with a really long screwdriver right here. And was able to pry it up gently and then get the hook out at that point. It's just working fast, working from one side to the other, snugging it up. But while manually having to keep one hand here on the U-bolt while tightening it up so it doesn't want to drift back out of place and sort of go back to the U-bolt memory. So that was my solution. There's got to be an easier way. I'm sure there is. If you're one guy working alone and you had that experience, let me know how you got through it. This was my workaround on this one, and I'm pretty happy now. I can retire for the day and go home and have a coffee at this point because you can see my breath. It's actually really warm outside, but this the shop here it's like a refrigerator. Kept all the cold inside, and here in the Northeast it's got to be at least 45 degrees outside, 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the workaround for today, getting that U-bolt back into place, and I guess I'll keep this diary going as the project continues, and if anybody can make use of it along the way, great, I'm glad, and if not, I've got something to look back on and maybe scratch my head later and think about how stupid I was. Alright guys, see you later.